Good evening, guys, and welcome back to Endpoint TV. This is Crossy back with you, and I found out that my microphone was running through a guitar amp sim, which is probably why it sounded absolutely horrific. But we should be good now for this second map. Fresh start for me and fresh start for CeX as they try and pick up this second map in the best of 3 against EURONICS Gaming on Mirage. So a similar kind of feel to the Dust 2 game that we just saw. A mid area that can be crucial. If you use it that way, you could play it in other ways, of course, and it doesn't have to be super important, but the number of times that an AWPer in mid-window can cause so many problems on the CT side, and then mid-control, the amount that you can do with that, as long as a few other things you go your way on T side as well. There is plenty of potential for that. And Mirage is one of those maps that can play literally any which way, as Murky tapping away on one player towards CT steps, but then smashes PDY from the steps. Red does exactly the same thing, the top fragger from the first map, Dust 2, and he's doing much the same again. Sin and Zen tapping away, following on from his example, as Ifan tries to make something happen for CeX, makes his way out from the palace and finds the second shot. That was extra crispy on Red. Impacting work on the site as well, and the two CeX players working together to bring it home over towards the B site, and they will be very happy with that. EURONICS had the fast rotate coming in from short. They were quick to that, but weren't able to make it pay, and then the delayed push through the apartments was able to bring it home for them. Nice work from Murky as well, making the opening frag over towards A, and that gave them something to work with. And here he is again, tapping away through mid-window, finds Red, who will no doubt be grabbing the orb and trying to drop another first half 20 bomb with it. PDY up on the steps, he comes away a little better this time with 2 Deagle headshots before falling away. A couple of AKs in the hands of the Ts though, which they will be looking to work from, and still hoping to bring this round home with the extra firepower that they have at their disposal with these weapons. EURONICS will be maybe looking to retrieve an AK and do real damage with that if they can. Flushed over the fine Zen from CT steps. That's one of the remaining 3 players. Make that one now. Over towards the steps. PDY with his third and his fourth. On for an ace. Not much to play with as far as HP, and Murky is able to bring it home. It's going to be 2-0 on the scoreboard, but PDY certainly making that interesting. More interesting than I thought it was going to be. See as they continue on. PDY will have racked up a little bit of money from that, which is always useful, but not enough to put a full buy together. As 4 players stacking over towards B site on the CT side. Looked like they were maybe going to be in the right position, but CeX now spreading out, looking for opportunities to just get a pick. Probably knowing that they have the firepower advantage, the range advantage. Lush has a chance to clean up here. 3 players to find, only gets 1. That AK will be retrieved and then dropped very quickly out of hand. I'm going to live to fight another day. 3-0 on the board then. Very early look at how things are panning out. PDY top of the shop for EURONICS, but he got all of those in one solitary round where it looked like he may have been able to bring the whole thing home. Full spend though now from EURONICS. Now be looking to hold firm here as the push now comes in from 8. CeX finds 1. PDY helping out as well, and Red getting in on the action. Didn't want to be left out as they quite comfortably deal with this play over towards the A site. 1 man left to find. Murky, who is going to be coming in from mid into connector. His teammates were shut down before he could have any real impact. Gonna get on board with Red with the AWP and see where he takes it. Up against AKs, so the T's do still have the advantage or the opportunity to get a one-shot headshot even against armor. See, Red comes in from Con. Got a teammate to give him a little bit of assistance in from window as well, and he is taken out. That's Fluffs with the frag. Ifan able to find Sin over towards the B site as well. So CeX sets one up nicely. PDY finds Fluffs. His position known from the frag that he got. And Red was able to use the distraction. Has another shot to find, and what a crisp shot that is with the AWP. 2-1. Stray bullet will give his position away, but PDY able to steal that one in the end. Good crossfire coming in from the mid area. Potentially some areas to exploit there. An AWPer inside connector is a little bit exposed if you can get up close with them. And M4 in the window, maybe slightly outgunned against the AKs at the top. See, straight away Fluffs. He's only got a pistol in hand, but he's able to get in and take out the AWPer before his teammate up at CT steps is able to help him out. They do retrieve that weapon. Maybe the move will be to drop away and keep hold of that sooner rather than later, but trapped in the connector. It works both ways. If you're stuck in there in T side, it can be a bit of a kill shoot between the site and then from short. If you're in there with the AWP on CT side, you can just get run at, which is exactly what happened with a P shooter. In came the frags. Cypher knew where that was coming from Sin, watching it. But even with that advantage, he just didn't have the weaponry to bring it home. So EURONICS have reversed the advantage, brought it back to 3-all. In this early running, not a whole lot that we can really glean from this. Mirage is one of those maps that just swings so much from one to the other, and you can have a cracking CT half in one game, you can have a cracking T half in the other game, and sometimes you'll get a little bit in the middle. No real pattern to it, and it will come down to a battle of strategy and a battle of out-fragging as well to a point. As we see with the benefit of X-Ray players pouring in from Con. Couple now in from Spawn, but they need to move quickly enough. Oh, that's unlucky for Cypher. He is taken out, but not before he gets an assist on the team kill. Red doing some serious work in this game. Another player to find, doesn't quite get him. Probably didn't have time to stick the defuse anyway. But would have been nice to get the kill. Drop guns at hand and all that good stuff. And just apply a little more economic pressure. Something that CeX will be looking to do now. So they get themselves back in the ascendancy. Let's watch this AWP from Murky. He might be under a bit of pressure, catches some nades, but he's not taken down by very much at all. PDY came off worse there. So he puts himself into connector. Cypher. That's the opening frag for his team. I think that must have been over towards A site. And yes, it is. We see him falling out from ramp. That's going to give him something to work from. Potentially over from mid, but PDY able to find a frag from Con. Falling all the way back out of sight. Give him plenty of room to move. Red playing close again. We saw him doing this on short on Dust 2. Tough spot to be in. And the kind of position I absolutely hated playing main AWPer in my last team. Tried to keep the longest possible range that I could. Red tough shot to try and flick up onto short. maybe had an inkling about the second guy. It turns out it's Murky, he's holding an AWP. Just waiting patiently for something to happen. 30 seconds left to go on the clock. Someone's going to have to make a move on this T side. Fluff's maybe expecting someone to be there in jungle. Perfectly reasonable thing as the two B players get on the move. Hoping to catch him up in connector. PDY spamming through. Frag was there to be made. And it was made in the end, but the plant does come in. $800 in the account. Outside chance for Fluffs to clutch this out. With the Galil, finds one over towards the steps. That's the second player out in the middle of the site. If that was an AK, would have been game over. But PDY able to live to fight another day. Picks up a hat-trick of kills in the round as well. That's bringing it back again. These two teams cannot be separated at this point. I see a real seesaw affair after what was maybe a little too comfortable in the first game on Dust 2. And Red looking to stamp his authority just like he did in the first, with a couple of quick kills towards top and mid. PDY's frag shot isn't looking too bad either, I don't think. So he adds another one from unders, as they find themselves a little short on ideas. The last man falls to his death inside mid. Five to 4 then, EURONICS edge out that lead, double AWP setup. Three out towards B. Cypher in the meantime finds one on CeX. Just watching the... let's move away from that now, but I was just watching the 3B setup that they're trying to work with the AWP. Interesting, and they maybe find themselves a little out of position for A now. Red has to fall away. Zen just finding himself running about in the middle of the site with the AWP. Not really sure where to go. PDY maybe could have played for time rather than bouncing out the window. Maybe didn't know how many opposition players were there waiting for him. They've probably got half an idea about Red's HP situation as well. Nice to drop that AWP out of his hand. Cypher catches his cover. And now it's going to find themselves pegged back. Bomb plant. Some guns to take into the next round. EURONICS will be able to... Oh, okay, that was costly. Okay, so EURONICS will be able to scrub something. Sin just goes for upgraded pistol or something. Would have been nice to carry the AWP through. Could have got a drop. That's yanked out of Red's hand right at the closing stages. Find ourselves back to 5-all. Finances are not going to support EURONICS next time out if they aren't able to pick up this round, but PDY has done some good work again. Seems to like collecting frags a couple at a time. And then again, so do these terrorists. 3 players falling in quick succession. 2 rotators in from B. Zen Had absolutely no right to get a couple of those frags, really, but he finds himself in a 1v1. I think he might have made noise. Yeah, Fluff's definitely heard that coming. Knows where he's going to be coming from, but he'll be hoping that he's outgamed Zen here. So far, that seems to be the case. Zen also without a kit in hand, so he's got to work a little quicker. Crab walking out fails, and it does go 6-5. PDY doing some good work again. 17 frags to his name after only 11 rounds of Counter-Strike. Forced onto a pistol though, so his chances of adding to that tally may be a little slim as they try and go for a mid-push. One in connector in trouble. CeX manages to find one with his deagle. So they are now cutting down these players in mid. Plus has a chance for more. He does get swamped, and this is decent from EURONICS. Couple of guns dropped. Guns that can be rebought though, of course. So definitely not the end of the world, as a few drops will go around. Leaving EURONICS with far from a full buy. So this is the opportunity then. CeX to get themselves into double figures, win this one, which is probably going to be the tough one to win. Face a real trash buy next time out. And then we'll see what happens in the final round. Of course, getting double figures, as we talked about right at the beginning, guarantees you nothing on Mirage on either side. But it's a nice little confidence boost, if nothing else, especially after going down in map number 1. PDY, you wouldn't put it past him having a few frags in him? I think it's probably going to take one for the team, do the right thing. Keep his gun in hand. A bit of pressure, just find one. Just yeeting out of the balcony. High 5 as we expected. 9-5 should be up and coming unless they get digged. It's not Source anymore, the dig isn't quite what it used to be, but still it has its moments. A few nostalgic flashbacks to the glory days when you didn't need to buy an AWP, you just needed a deagle. As PDY, what a shot that is to put his 20th frag on the board. I'm going to add 21 to that. Red also starting to feel it now with the AK in hand. I think with how he AWP'd in the first map, he's going to be tempted to pull that thing out and do some damage on T side as well. It's a little more limited. You can get your mid pick, and if you can get a bit of cover from short, you can, you know, sometimes fire a few shots into A side to try and help your team out. But it's on CT side from mid window really where an AWPer can really come into their own. Covering mid, stopping that from being a thing. And once you apply that mid pressure, you get frags and they start to fear challenging you from there. That gives you the opportunity to then rotate and, you know, apply pressure in other areas and just lets you put the squeeze on the terrorists and make them make a move. CeX gets the opportunity now. Doesn't have too much to do really over towards the A site, but when he does it well. 9-6. Not quite double figures, but a solid score, something to work from. A score where you probably want to take pistol. Otherwise your advantage very quickly slips away from you. But we will see how it goes. Just a reminder, this best of 3, we're in the second map. EURONICS took the first one on Dust 2. 16-9, I believe that was. The winner of this match books themselves a spot in MDL relegation. Should be underway again very soon. Map number 3, just to double check, is Inferno. So, nutty little bit of Inferno action to finish it off, if it goes that far. That would definitely be entertaining. In the meantime, I don't think we have the banner over anything useful on the scoreboard. I don't have my microphone running through a guitar amp simulator. We can see the game. Ticking off all these positives that you would like to see. Got players hitting shots as well. That's always a positive. It's going to be then potentially the deciding half if EURONICS can bring this home. CeX will be looking to stretch this into a third map if they can. Whatever happens, we'll be here and along the journey with them. City comes flying into B, along with some terrorists to go with it. CeX with a couple. Bomb dropped on site, but that is retrievable, and with no push coming in from short. And all 3 CTs wanting to retake from kitchen, they will be able to get that plant unabated. Murky finds one on Zen. Positions known, both Red and CeX have shown themselves. And that allowed them to be very quickly swept under the rug by the retake. That's exactly what CeX wanted. There's their double figures that they were so close to putting on the board in the first half. It's going to allow them to push through. Bomb plant will help. It's going to allow EURONICS to be able to work something that's not going to force up full into this. 3 Galils and an AK. AK goes into the hands of CeX. Priority number 1 is not to drop that. to any CTs, not easily anyway. If you go challenge, make sure there's someone there to refrag. It is just so dangerous. Although it's not actually the AK that's causing the problems. The CeX is now going to go for it, sees the player, looks away to deal with the jungle guy as called in by his teammates who had already gone down. And by that point, it's too little too late. If you're not facing and causing problems before your teammates are working away from Con, it's kind of opportunity lost, and you may as well drop away and look for, not exits as such, but pick up any players trying to hunt you down. Get that AK out of your hands. And for the team with a one map advantage here, a misfire in the start of their second half. It's not what they want as they commit down to about 2K. But they'll want a bomb plant and they'll want some frags here at a bare minimum. You'll see Red pick up the AWP. Try and do some damage. And there's that kill shoot that we're talking about. Fluff's pushing up to short. Couple of players in around A. Ready to inflict damage. 12-6. Fluff's pushing up short. Or pushing up next to short. Did have a teammate for assistance as well. And that 2-for-2 trade, if anything is going to work in the favour of the T's, whichever site they decide to attack, the defence is going to be soft. There's going to be less players there as Impact gets hammered through the box over at Ticket. Over at the other site, an entry though was made. There's a bomb plant. Impact's given the game away for where he is. Seeing if he can get away with it. Will just sit in and wait. Then getting found from another part of the map though means he does have to come in and just cover a few more angles. So maybe he wants to do that with the smoke dissipating as well. All four remaining players will escape into the next round with their lives intact. I think it's starting to get a little more interesting in this game, starting to heat up. Just like the British weather at the moment. Stacking up towards B. B's been working well for EURONICS. Struggled a little bit more over at the other bomb site. I think whatever happens, any approaches they do want to put into A, it's going to have to be set up by some kind of B pressure. It's a little unfortunate for Cypher. Decides to take the easy way out. As if going down a ball of fire and grenades is the easy way, I don't know, but hey, each to their own. The timer's going to tick away here. EURONICS closing the deficit to within 4. And they'll be wanting to continue to beat up on this B site as much as they can. You saw how quickly 2 players from CeX came sprinting up short. So that's something that they can definitely work with. Maybe have someone hanging behind at mid while the B push happens. Catch those guys from behind, cause problems that way. This is probably too high a level of Counter-Strike, but you wouldn't even rule out the leave the bomb A, throw a hard fake towards B. Depends how many you can draw out of position. It's going to be a bit of an eco bash, I think. Now I take it back if I'm doing some work. The M4. PDY looking to get in and face. The way he's been forming on this map in particular, you wouldn't put it past him to keep tapping away, flushed with a pistol. Definitely didn't have the firepower in that situation. EURONICS, that's 3 on the spin, I believe. Once they got into a full buy, they've just kept on going. See how long that's going to continue for. Flush gets himself boosted up onto short. That's a nice little position. Only gets one from it though. Murky smokes out a window, has to just fall away. Give up the mid control. If they can pair that with anything else, looks like a stack towards A. Might be the plan. Sin comes to join as well. Got a couple of smokes. All the smoke over towards jungle or stairs. And towards ticket by the looks of things. And left ticket alone, just worried about jungle. One player on triple is going to be in trouble. And is caught by the first man through. Allows Sin to get himself into CT. Steps and Con, 2 players that need to find already. 4v3 in favour of the bomb planters. For CeX just waiting for the third man, Cypher, to get himself up from A ramp. Does find one. He should get traded out, you would have thought, by CeX, but he misses his shot. He does make it in the end. 2v2. Murky, though, finds another, and they are able to trade out these remaining 2 players. That's a really good retake at a crucial time. And yeah, that could be super useful and allow us to see a third map here tonight. Little pause comes in, a time to just talk things over and figure out a plan, I guess. Either that or someone's PC has completely melted in the heat. Wouldn't rule it out, of course. Ourselves back underway. Scrub by the looks of it for EURONICS. He says as they swap an AWP around. So let's see what Red can do with this. Okay, so they're all going back over towards A side. Maybe it would have been tempting to see him going to mid with that. But going mid solo for an A push, you do end up as a bit of a cannon just sitting up on short. If nice work finds 2 players of those on rushing into the bomb site. Red with the AWP. You wouldn't expect him to be the man entry fragging. PDY also doing great work. We've watched Sin walk all the way through into Con unabated, but he does absolutely nothing. Red realizes he's in trouble. He sees the smoke start to dissipate, sees the legs, but he's already in the animation for the bomb plant. It's one of those where you just know, like, I've shafted this, boys. So it's not a problem for his team, who bounce back. Situation that they absolutely should have won in the last round. Didn't quite go their way. And they come right back at CeX with another round. CT is still with a 3-round advantage. But feeling the squeeze from their lack of cash flow right now. PDY and Zen. Couple of frags apiece. Cypher. See him walk straight past the guy. CeX is able to deal with that though quite nicely. 4v2. AK retrieved by Murky. Over in apartments. Over in Palace, sorry. His position will be known. They may or may not choose to try and hunt him down and drop that AK a little bit later on. Bomb plant over towards B. It seems pretty unlikely. And someone wants to get on their bike and go and look for him, but I think they'll quite happily let him take that one AK through. Against a full team of them, it's not going to completely change the complexion. PDY. 30 bomb on the board. Nice work from him. And yeah, you can see him fragging regularly. Not really a surprise to see him in that position. Get on board then with the ooh, okay, interesting. So Murky, good cover from short, but there's not a whole lot in terms of control of that mid area. And you can see below the shot. If no one goes on to short, the shot you'd have to make, you haven't got many pixels of head to aim for. As in the meantime, EURONICS go back towards B. The site that worked quite well for them in the early stages. They were finding early success and didn't need to go anywhere near to the A site. This time they're changing it up. They need a few rounds in quick succession. Impact manages to catch Zen looking in the wrong direction. His position is now known, but one player knowing that you have to keep that apartment's angle locked down can cause you problems in terms of where you cover as you try and hold this thing off. Luckily for EURONICS, they're getting a full save from the remaining CeX players. Just knowing that the economy isn't going in their favour. The round advantage is now also not really going in their favour.
Terrorists win.
This is going to be close. Already is close, of course, but when we get to the final result, definitely wouldn't put it past overtime. It's happening at 6. Smashing away at the feet of Impact, I think it is. 2 players in from PDY. Feeling greedy. Looking to pad his stats a little further. Does go in and face. And mops up that damage that was already done by a teammate. 1-for-1 trade again. Any 1-for-1 trades really on any map tends to favour the Ts rather than the CTs. Just makes your job a little easier with whatever bomb site you decide you want to enter from. Red grabs Cypher as I think he was walking through from Palace. Now the delay A comes in. Ifan has been standout player for CeX. Does appear from Palace, finds one. Murky's AWP taken down. So freight train rolls through the B site. Let me go see another save, I think, for these remaining 2 weapons. Another pause comes in, and this is coming up to a key round. See, CeX going to commit probably everything they can at this round with their spends. And I think this is going to be the one. Whoever ends up winning this could end up taking the whole thing. I think for EURONICS, that's an easier call to make. We see the finances for CeX as they come out of this round. They are not going to be in the best position to be 14-13 down. Scrub by or a full eco from them. Draw is the best they can achieve, and then EURONICS only need a one-round victory in a bye v bye, which they've proven to be superior at. As they get into the second half, it's been marginal. What a time. What a time to go floating out of Palace one at a time. Unbelievable. Another pause. Right, I called it. Winner of that round was going to take the whole thing. You see, EURONICS, they've got the cash to rebuy. They could probably rebuy in the next round as well, which could be 15-13 against. These boys have grabbed all of the guns that came falling out of Palace. Stocked up nicely and ready to bring this thing home. See what they got. EURONICS will probably want to put some pressure on B at least. If nothing else, just to set up for some kind of play over towards A. That seems to be where they've been the most comfortable. That's where the results have come from, as CeX, he's looking for that angle over towards the top of box. But just can't make a shot without the smoke dissipating. Didn't know for sure. Now he does. PDY, the man of the hour. Not able to find the one moving pixel strafing across his screen to make the headshot that he needed there. But again, 4v4. Trade probably favours the T side. That's Red. He's got good vision of the A bomb site. He knows he's got a little bit of room to work. Tiny bit of rope. It's Fluffs. Gets the one frag. I fan. Gonna try and grab the guy in mid. Does grab the guy in mid. Chance to get refragged from behind on short, but that falls away. Instincts in the end realizing he needs to try and prioritize getting towards the bomb site. Red left in no man's land. Enough cash to get a decent spend in. But from here you would only really expect a third map. Take it to a decider then. So some Inferno action to kick off the weekend. EURONICS going to be looking to take decent mid control. No pressure from Window. No pressure from Con. Up close, sorry, down he goes. Another one at bench. Position's being found. Cypher gives away his position, but not before he picks up a frag, and he does live to fight another day. Last man standing. It's Red. He walks into the scope of Murky, and we are seeing map number 3 on Inferno.